Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm so grateful to all of you who are either watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk kitchen design. We recently completed a redesign of our kitchen and bath, but what I want to talk about today are some of the things in the kitchen that I've been asked about a lot on Instagram, some things that I personally would love to share with you all. Many of you that I'm hearing from are in the midst of a remodel, or you are thinking about remodeling. And when I say remodel, I think the term is actually redesign. And I don't know all the technical terms, but basically we gutted both kitchen and bath, meaning tore down the cabinets, tore out everything, and we started fresh. We started, as far as the kitchen goes, we were going to try to just redesign or update. We were going to try to reface the existing cabinets and just maybe work around some of the things that were there. But as we got into the process, we realized that for not too terribly much more, we could get exactly what we wanted if we just totally gutted. Because when you're trying to work around existing backsplash or existing appliances or existing sinks, you are very, very limited in your choices. And ultimately, the kitchen is where I work and live every day. So we just decided to go ahead and gut and start from scratch. So I'm going to share with you a few of the things that I love the most about my kitchen and things that I think you might want to know about if you are embarking upon a similar endeavor. Okay, my primary goal of the kitchen was to maximize my storage and also to have the best cooking appliances and the best setup for cooking and for being able to entertain with, a good flow. So what we did is our previous cabinets, they didn't go all the way to the top. So you had that space at the top, and they were just the typical, oh goodness, y'all, I don't know what you call them. They're just overlay. The cabinets were overlay, meaning the door would lay on top of the cutout, the box. The cabinets that I chose, we ended up going all the way to the ceiling. And we chose for the doors to be inset, meaning everything is flush. So the door actually shuts flush with the cabinet boxes or the openings. I absolutely love the look, love going all the way to the top. And I'll explain what we did at the top, which I absolutely love. It makes a world of difference. Now, you will pay a little more for inset doors, and inset doors over time, they're very hard to keep straight over time if you use them a lot. And our cabinet professional, Paul, he told us that. We had heard that from others, but it's just the type of thing where if over time you need to call your cabinet professional or you need to get someone to come make a few tweaks, it's nothing big, but they are a little more complicated. So you are going to pay a little more, and you are over time probably going to have to attend to them a little bit. So we took the cabinets to the ceiling and we went inset. Now, my aesthetic is white, light, and bright, but with gold accents. So because I film a lot, I needed it to be white. I needed it to be light, and bright is very difficult in my kitchen because we only have one window that gets direct light, and it's only in the afternoon. So I have to really go light with my overall color. So the color that we used for the kitchen, and we actually ended up painting the entire house this color, and I love it. It's origami white, and it's just a clean, lovely white. So I'm thrilled with it. And then we painted our island monorail silver. Love it. My dear friend and my designer. She drew all my CADs and she did a lot of the initial choices. Laura Dockery, she chose that color combination and it's lovely. So what we did is once we did the cabinetry, the uppers that went all the way to the top, we left those open. In other words, there are doors on them, but we did not put a door front. We put gold mesh, decorative mesh, and I love it. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but it's absolutely beautiful. And if you just put it up at the top, it makes such a statement. I will say there are different sizes. You can get mesh that's very open and you can get very fine mesh. The finer the mesh, the harder it is to see through it. I got one that you can tell, you can see what's behind it, like the outline, if I've got goblets or if I've got a cake stand, but you can't see the detail. If I'd gone smaller, you wouldn't be able to see any. If I'd gone bigger, you would have been able to see detail, but I love my mesh. I'm going to share everything that I have details for in the show notes. So you can refer to those if you want to look further into any of this. So I love my mesh uppers. If you go all the way to the ceiling and you don't want to put gold mesh, you can put glass, which is what I had before our mesh came in. The mesh takes a bit because you have to special order it. It has to be cut to size. So we had the glass fronts on. I really liked that. You can also do the same door fronts that you have on your lower cabinets, and it just looks like one continuous inset or whatever type of door you use. So going all the way to the ceiling, big difference. If you add the gold decorative mesh, big difference, a lot of impact. Okay, so we did those changes to the cabinets. Now we changed our countertops. What I had previously was quartz. I had London gray. It's Caesar stone, London gray quartz honed. It was lovely. I enjoyed it. We had it for 6 or 7 years. I chose marble for this kitchen redo, and I will say I do not regret it. I love my marble. I chose Bianco Rhino. It is a white with some marbling, creamy marbling, just soft, creamy, a little bit of gray, but it's just overall a very white, beautiful marble. It's got some depth. I don't regret for a second choosing marble. It's beautiful. And although for the season of life that I was in, the quartz worked great because literally you can spill things on it and come back 3 hours later and get it up and it's going to come up. Marble, you need to attend to any spills or any type of stain. You need to just attend to that right away or as quickly as possible. And I will say I have spilled several things that I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to ruin it. One of which I use a lot of sun-dried tomatoes, and the oil inside of sun-dried tomatoes, you've got oil and you've got that acidic tomato. I always want to get that up quickly, but everything that I've spilled coffee, everything has come up. And what I have found is that having the marble has made me take better care of my kitchen. I felt like I got a little lax when I had the quartz. So it's been a good thing. It's almost like I take better care. I'm a little more attentive because it's special and I want to keep it beautiful. So we went from quartz to marble and super pleased. Now for the backsplash, we previously had I enjoyed it for a season. It was like a glass. It was glass and ceramic sort of mixed in. It was a little bit beachy, but we had that and it was a Subway. And what we have now with our Bianco Rhino marble is we have a marble backsplash. The marble countertop is honed, Bianco Rhino. The backsplash is a polished, it's a small split joint dolomite. Love it. Love it, love it. And again, it's marble, but if anything splashes on it, especially in the cooktop area, I just wipe it down quickly. But I'm very, very, very pleased with that. Okay, so let me go back to cabinetry. Another thing that I love, and I will link to these as well, I love my hardware. And it was not exorbitant at all. I ordered all of my hardware from Wayfair, which of course they use third-party vendors. So it's like if you order on Amazon and it's a third-party vendor, but I got knobs on the uppers, but then on all the other cabinets and lowers, I got pulls, and I got a knurled. Knurled is just sort of like it's rough. And I got a satin brass that's like a soft gold. Love them. And I got taller ones. I got those exact ones for my refrigerator because we have a paneled refrigerator. Got long ones. I think I found those in 24-inch. And then I have some 18 and then 7.5. So love those. They've got a little texture to them. So if your hands are wet or got a little grease on them, they're not going to slip. And they have, to me, a little bit of an antique or an aged look. They're just not shiny. So love, love, love my hardware. Another thing that I love, previously we had over our cooktop, we just had like a microwave that was vented. So the exhaust went through a built-in microwave. I really, really, really wanted a decorative hood that we would install an exhaust. So I got one. Our cabinet professional ordered one. It's got a beautiful design and it's white. And I chose to have some, I don't know if you call it stripping, but it's like a strip of gold/brass accent on the bottom. And then we had a wolf exhaust put in. I think that's what you call it, but it's what you press when you're needing to clear the air and it vents out through your upper cabinets. I love it. It's beautiful and it's functional and it's just, I love it. And another tweak that we made, we again used a cooktop. A lot of people under the hood, they'll do a range, which is it's got the cooktop, but underneath there's an oven. I did a cooktop that wraps around the front, but underneath it's cabinets, not an oven. Because if you have the cabinetry underneath, then you have a double oven on the wall. And I needed a double oven. So therefore I just did a cooktop with the buttons that wrapped around the front or the knobs instead of being on top. I love it. And underneath I had a very slim drawer built to pull out with all of the utensils like spatula, whisks, spoons that I would use while I'm cooking something on the cooktop. And then underneath that drawer, there's a deep drawer for my skillets, my pasta pots, all the things, the saucepans that I would use in that space. So I love that because I cannot have a range under my cooktop because I need more than one. So I did a double oven, which I do love. It's a monogram. And I did the French door it opens like a French door, two sides, but you can use one hand because if you open one side, it opens both. So it's super convenient. And the bottom is just a normal pull down. And I love the features. You have an app that you can program it and you can turn it off or on with your phone. So if you're coming home from the grocery and you want a oven that's already preheated to throw in a frozen pizza, you can do that on your app. And it also has an air fry function, which I wasn't sure that I was going to use, but I used it once to do some chicken fingers using the air fry function. Oh my goodness, love it. So anyway, love that. So I have on the cooktop, the big knobs that are on the front, it's a monogram as well. You can choose your color. I think you can maybe choose blue or red. I don't know. Red may be exclusive to wolf, but I chose some that had gold accents. So you got a little bit of the gold there. Just love it. Okay. I'll tell you another thing that I didn't know if I would use. I thought I'm just doing this for the looks, but I use it and love it. It's my pot filler. Guys, I love my pot filler. Maybe it's because I cook so much and I'm back and forth. I boil everything, or I'm always filling a pan with water because I steam eggs. I do a lot of things that require water. My pot filler is right there. I just pull it over, turn it on, don't have to walk to the sink until I'm ready to pour the water out after whatever I have steamed or boiled is done. So I love my pot filler. It is an unlacquered brass. It's a Waterstone, and I love it. Haven't had any trouble. Now, that leads me to, I have the Waterstone pot filler. I have a Waterstone faucet that is absolutely beautiful. It's unlacquered brass, but I did not know until I already had it and I had started using it. But when the water that you're using at the sink gets really, really hot, if you pull the handle down and press the lever, the part that you hold to rinse your sink or to do whatever you're doing with the pull down, it gets hot. And when I use very hot water, I have to either pull it down and use the hose portion because it's insulated, or I have to wear like gloves. I went round and round with Waterstone, and basically that's the way it is. Brass is just going to get hot. And they said that it was insulated with something that they use in aircraft. I don't really know about all that. You know, I don't know if that's correct, but I will tell you, just be aware that if you get a Waterstone pull down faucet, it will be hot if your water gets hot. I personally do not think that every faucet that's brass does that, but I don't know because that's the only one that I've ever had that is unlacquered brass. So anyway, but all of that to say, just be aware. But when I look at my faucet and then I look at the pot filler, I could not be more pleased with the aesthetics. And it's just one of those things where you just have to adapt and just know that everything doesn't always work out exactly the way you want, but it's beautiful and I'm okay. Okay, so we've got the pot filler, the faucet. Okay, two more things I'm going to address that I changed and that I like, and I think made a nice little difference. My pendants. I previously had, and I loved them. I had pendants that I had purchased from Home Goods, and I loved them. They were there forever, but the pendants that I replaced them with, they're Visual Comfort, and they're just seated glass. They're just sort of the conical, and then they have a soft satin brass or just soft gold trim. Love them. I think they look great. They're just simple. I will say we started off with probably the prettiest pendants I've ever seen in my life. They were also Visual Comfort. They were Marie Flanagan. Can't remember the exact name, but we had the smallest ones. And when we got them in, they were so large, they just took over the space. So we had to switch them out. But I'm very pleased with those. So pendants, and we just have the two over the island, and they just are really, really nice. Okay, so the last thing that we changed and that I absolutely love and recommend if you have the space is we did, well, it's really two things, but they're right by each other. We did an appliance garage and a coffee station, meaning we did a space and we put doors. For the coffee station, we did pocket doors, so they slide back. For the appliance garage, we just have a door that opens. Guys, I cannot tell you what a joy it is to be able to hide appliances that you use often. And what I have in mind, and on both the appliance garage and the coffee station, we have a pull-out shelf, and I did my beautiful pulls. I had them attach one of the pulls where I could pull both of the shelves out easily. But what I have in my appliance garage is the electric can opener, which I use all the time. So I just pull it out. I have my Cuisinart toaster, and I have my Ninja, the base of my Ninja smoothie maker, which is also the base for my blender, all of the blending and smoothing. So I have those three things that I use. I make smoothies almost every day, toast, I heat bread a lot, and then I always use my can opener. So I just pull that out. The outlets are inside. I keep them plugged up, push it back in, shut the cabinet door. The cabinets look so clean and uncluttered. Coffee station, push those pocket doors back. We tiled the back of the coffee station with the backsplash tile. We put lights because a lot of times in the morning it's still dark. It lights up. It's beautiful. I have a shelf that pulls out that has my coffee maker, my espresso maker, and then I have a shelf with all the coffee cups. And then at the top, I have all the different coffees and teas and all that. It's just wonderful. And I have really come to the conclusion that being able to hide things behind a beautiful door is so much better than having extra space that's open that you're just going to put things on top of and it looks cluttered. At least it does at my house. So anyway, so guys, those are just a few of the changes that we made from old kitchen to new kitchen that I'm super happy with. I'll be sharing everything in the show notes. And if you have any specific questions, I'm always happy to help. The best way to reach me is email jamie@familysavvy.com. You can also DM me on Instagram and always, again, find me here on the SavvyCast. So again, I appreciate all of you for being here. And until next time, you have a fabulous rest of your day.